Hey, Crosspoint, you are about to hear the message before the message. We tracked down a few, not all, but a few Crosspoint moms who have children out of the house, and we asked them some questions about being a mom. Take a look.
My name's Jan Wolf, and I have 3 children.
My name's Sharon Brostowski. I have 2 children.
My name is Carrie Lawrence, and we have 2 children.
Jean Lyman, and I have 3 children.
My name is Jackie Brennan, and I have 4 children.
My name is Diane Grassi, and we have 3 children.
I had a probably 3-year-old lock me out of a car. After about 20 minutes, I got a coat hanger and unlocked the door so I could get back in the.
Do we know this 3-year-old at this time? Or?
Yes, we happen to know him.
Okay, all right, him, interesting.
I remember a time when my daughter was 4 years old, and I was putting on a bridal shower for my brother's soon-to-be wife, and I invited all these people, and there was one aunt who never comes to anything, who's been a bit of a social recluse, decided for some reason she was actually going to come to this bridal shower. Now, she's from Germany, speaks with sort of a heavy German accent, and she's overweight and very self-conscious. My darling daughter, who was 4 years old, who never said anything unkind to anyone in the world, decided that she went right up to Aunt Terry and said to her, "Aunt Terry, why are you so fat?" I just wanted to crawl under a rock.
It's the one my daughter continues to tell. She was out skateboarding and she fell. It needed to get checked out. And taking her and getting her into the van, I actually was in such a hurry to get her to the ER that I kind of shut the side van door on her broken foot.
When Caleb was 3 years old, we were at the family camp for the Northeastern District, and we were eating in the cafeteria. Caleb was 3, and he sat there, and he was just being kind of quiet, and I was busy trying to talk with somebody at my table, and all of a sudden realized that he was over there sticking pieces of hamburger up his nose.
Okay, I'm going to give you one because this just happened about 2 weeks ago. Daniel and some other students were going to be inducted into this math honorary down at Ashland University. I pulled up the Zoom link and got it ready just so, I wouldn't miss anything. So then Daniel FaceTimes with me and says, "Mom, how do I look? Does this look okay?" And I said, "Well, honey, I think you need to button that top button and, straighten that tie out and pull your shirt down so it doesn't look so baggy." And then of course I had to throw in that I think you should have shaved. And next thing we know, the professors come on and they say, "Okay, we're ready to start this ceremony." And then they say, "And Daniel, let us tell you, you are looking so good right now. If only you would have shaved." And I went, They heard all of that.
Most embarrassing moment I've ever had in my life. All 3 children I had taken to the store. It was the winter time in Chicago. Got them all packaged up into the car. We shopped, all of our clothes was at Kmart. And we checked out, and I came home and I found out that Steve, the oldest one, had a package of Kit Kats in hand that I hadn't paid for. And so I'm sitting there at home and I'm exhausted from the trek to begin with. And I'd already taken all their snow stuff off. And I thought, "Oh, just let it go." And I thought, "No, you can't. You've got to do the lesson." So I put all their snow stuff back on them, put them back in the car, trudged them all back into Kmart. And when I got in there, I went to the customer service desk and I said, whispered, "My son took these Kit Kats. I'd like your manager to give him what for." So finally, the manager comes down, takes us up to his office. I'm embarrassed because I did not raise my children to steal. And so he laid it into Steve, and he showed him all the pictures on the wall, which were FBI most wanted things, and how he could, really end up in big trouble on one of those posters if he did this again and stuff like that. So yeah, that was taken care of. That son is now an FBI agent.
But I think that it changes according to your children's season. And you go through that season with them because once a mom, always a mom.
My challenging season as a mom is when my second child was born. My daughter was born with a disability called spina bifida. So the challenging part was trying to balance your time with mom of a newborn and her 3-year-old brother, and then trying to balance your duties as a wife. And then you add into the mix that everyone tells you what they think you ought to be doing.
The most challenging season was the season in which it was clear that one of our children just was not sensing how deeply they were loved.
I think every season has its challenges, but I think for us, I would say it was the teenage years. That was the time that we moved to Ohio. It was hard trying to balance then helping them, helping with the work here. And then I started working full time at that point too.
And just as a disclaimer, I did ask Sarah if I could say any of this, but we had a long, at least 15-year season of challenge with Sarah. It got really challenging those 4 years of high school. She had her freshman year here at Copley, and it did not go well. I probably got called 2 or 3 times a week to go up to the high school. So we ended up moving her down to a small Christian school down near Hartville. And then when she was in her senior year, she got kicked out of that high school. And I hit rock bottom.
Challenging season as a mother was as a mother of a teenage daughter, but she was the most rambunctious of all 3 kids as far as, oh, you hate me and I hate you and, you know, you're the meanest mother. And
First of all, make sure that you and your husband are on the same page when it comes to the kids in discipline. Don't ever make threats or promises that you're not going to keep. And pray, and pray some more.
One of the smartest things I feel like we ever did as parents is when our kids were about 8 and 11, we sat down every night after dinner. We spent 20 minutes reading the Bible. And it took us almost 2 years to get through the Bible. Philippians 1:6 says, "Be confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will see it through to completion in Christ Jesus." And there's times as a parent, you may not see the end picture. You may not know what the end picture is, but God knows what the end picture is. You know, as parents, we worry about our kids, but I think the biggest issue is just to learn how to trust God, that he who began a good work in you will see it through to completion.
There's no more important job for a woman than being a mother if you are so blessed. As a parent, how much I needed to trust in the Lord, trust that God would give me wisdom as I needed it. He will, maybe not instantly, but he will make your path straight. He will, in time, unfold the plan that he has for you and for your kids.
Deuteronomy 6:7, where it talks about talking about the Lord when you're sitting, when you're standing, when you're driving in the car, if I can paraphrase, making sure that you're including the Lord in everything that you do with your kids.
I think just helping them understand who God was in their everyday lives. And so I would just say, enjoy your kids, but bring God into everything that you do and help them to see what God has done for them.
my favorite verse is "Be still and know that I am God," Psalm 46:10. You've got toddlers. Your life is rather helter-skelter. You're trying to do your housework, or you're trying to work part-time, and you're trying to take care of children. And I think every woman in the world agrees. As much as you love those children, it still is very, very tiring. I also found, and I know these days it's not probably approved. Playpens are a wonderful thing. When you put them down for a nap, try to rest. Read a book, read the Bible, do something for yourself while your child is napping.